Hi, welcome to Garage Geek. This is Friday Night Chat. So this is where I don't edit anything out. I just talk, and hopefully you're along for a ride. This is, I think, my fourth time. Might be my third, but I think it's my fourth. And I've been getting pretty good numbers. In fact, each week's it's been progressing steadily. I think I had 81 views on my last. Now, I don't know if that means people are watching all the way to the end, but the numbers are increasing. So I hope you're here and you're along for the ride. I hope you have your coffee. I got my favorite coffee cup right here, and I'm ready to talk about the week. So, of course, I'm a teacher and, work. I'm glad the week is done, right? I think we only had a 4-day week. Was that this week? It might have been. No, it was a 5-day week this week. And, the honeymoon's over. The kids are starting to assert their dominance and they want to behave the way they want to behave. So that's always a lot of fun. So I'm sure, work is work for everyone. So if you'd like to tell me how your work week was, I'm more than happy to read about it and comment about it in the comments. We all need to vent a little bit. But I've got my notes, my talking points, and I'm ready to go. I watched quite a few movies this week. By quite a few, I mean like 4. Because usually, when I get home, I'm tired. I got a couple of hours that I'm with my dogs out here in the garage. And then I go inside. Because I have a couple of dogs that need to stay outside. They don't go inside. They go inside at night, but only in the laundry room. So I try to be with them as much as possible when I get off work. And so I'm outside with them now. In fact, they're trying to go outside. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, but the first movie that I watched this week was Moonfall. It was on HBO, a premiere. And, of course, I knew about this movie when it came out of the theater, but I wasn't, that excited to go see it, although I love sci-fi. And actually, I think this movie would have looked beautiful on a big screen. The special effects in the movie were really nice. They were fine. But the whole premise of the movie was absurd. Now, I am not going to spoil anything. So this is kind of what I would call a popcorn movie, right? Go into it knowing that you're just seeing dumb fun and you're going to enjoy it, right? But if you go in trying to make sense of anything that's happening, you're going to be disappointed. But watch it. It's fun. It's dumb fun. It's got Halle Berry in it, John Bradley from Game of Thrones, and Patrick Wilson. He was in so many things. So yeah, watch that movie. I'd love to know what you think about it. I also watched the premiere, I guess it was, of Thor: Love and Thunder, which is on, it's Marvel, so it's got to be on Disney. Yeah, Disney Plus. So yeah, I watched that one, and it was directed by the same director. I'm forgetting his name. Taika Waititi. Sorry if I mispronounced that. So I was expecting a really fun movie like the last one, because he directed the last one, and it was a lot of fun. That was a great movie. So I was expecting something similar, and this movie is fun in a lot of parts. I really like the ending. The acting is really good. Special effects are nice, but it just didn't capture my attention as much as the last movie. I'm still going to recommend that you watch it. It's fun, but go into it knowing that it's probably not as good as the last one. The ending was nice though. I think if you stick it through, you'll enjoy the ending. I saw a couple more movies, but in between, I saw a trailer. I'm not big on trailers, but actually a couple of them caught my eye this week. So the first one was Werewolf by Night. So Werewolf by Night is an old Marvel comic, and I love it as a kid. In fact, I grabbed a couple examples. So here's an old Werewolf by Night comic. I've got a bunch of them, but I just grabbed this one, Werewolf by Night. And I have the omnibus. So this is all his, old appearances. It has a modern cover. It's a great Arthur Adams cover, by the way. I don't mind if they modernize something like that, as long as the covers are awesome, because you still get all the original comics. It's going to be really hard to see, right? But those are like the original comics and his other appearances. So this is the Werewolf by Night omnibus. Like I said, I'm a big fan of his 70s comic. So there's all of that was like a big preamble. There is a show coming out on Disney Plus, a Werewolf by Night, and they're going the horror route, and I'm so happy. And not only are they going the horror route, they're making it look like an old Universal Monsters TV show. So maybe that's just a trailer. I don't know. The trailers can trick you sometimes. But the way the trailer is set up, the way they light it, the way they put the lettering, the way they cut it, it really looks like an Universal Monsters horror movie, but with modern horror. So there's going to be blood and guts and all that. I'm telling you, it looks really good. If you haven't seen the trailer, I would highly recommend that you at least check out the trailer for Werewolf by Night. Let me put this big old tome down. And I guess that's a good time to take a sip of coffee. Black Panther. Such an awesome cup. All right, so another trailer that I watched is an actual TV show that's going to premiere on NBC, and that's Quantum Leap. Now, I have not watched all of the original Quantum Leap. I used to see it once in a while when I was a kid on TV, but I never watched the entire series, and I've always regretted that. I need to watch that, right? But they have a new show, and if you can watch the trailer, that trailer looks amazing. Like, it looks like it has a high production value, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. They've updated the characters. It really looks like it's going to be fun. And I hope that, I think it's premiering Monday, September 19th. So that means this Monday, right? So I hope it's going to be on Hulu the next day so I can watch it. I'm really looking forward to that. And I didn't even know about it until I saw the trailer at the beginning of this week, and now I'm all excited. I mean, that's just how out of the loop I am. So I watched two other movies this week. I started watching Pinocchio, the new live action version on Disney, and it was actually better than I thought it would be. I didn't finish it just because I was getting tired, not because the movie was boring. It wasn't boring at all. It has Tom Hanks in it, and I was kind of surprised because Tom Hanks seems to be at everything. And so when the movie started, I was like, oh my gosh, that's Tom Hanks as Geppetto. And then there was a fox, the fox and the cat characters, and the fox, I didn't look it up because I'm not going to look it up until the end of the movie, but the fox's voice was just driving me nuts because I know that voice. You know that feeling, right? You know who the voice is for the character, and I still don't know who it is. So I hope, like, when I watch the second part and I see him again, it'll click. Because my brain has had time to think about it, so hopefully I'll be like, oh yeah, it's this, character, but I mean this person. So I'm gonna probably finish watching that one tonight, and then I'll know, and then I'll probably like, what the heck. And then the last movie that I watched this week, besides my the movies that I've been doing for the 100 movies, $100. So the last movie that I watched this week was Morbius, and so that was another comic book character. Here's an example. This is like a beat up. I mean, this comic is, can you see it? It's beat. I don't even care. I don't mind having beat up comics because they actually look really nice in the Mylar, and that's, before I talk about that, I want to go back to this comic, right? So I do not have all the Werewolf by Nights, and recently I know I have the omnibus, but I would like to have all of the collection, right? And some of them, of course, are pretty expensive, but now that there's a show, the comic's going to double and triple in value, and that's always a shame. It's one of the complaints I have, right? So now that there's a show, this is going to be more popular, and everybody's going to rush out to buy them because they think later they can sell them or what have you. And it's just really bad for the collectors, right, who really enjoy and they try to get the whole run, because then everything skyrockets. Hey, don't start barking. So back to Morbius. Okay, so there it is. I was talking about my beat up comic. Look, there's Morbius. He always had the funniest, like, stub nose. So I watched Morbius and I heard that it was really bad, right? So I went into it thinking, okay, it's going to be bad, but I gotta watch it anyway, right? I'm a big Marvel fan, comic fan. I mean, duh. Don't start fighting. And so I started watching it and I really, really enjoyed it. So the one thing that was weird about it, you have to get used to it, is the special effects on the faces. And if you can get used to that, sorry, I'm a little uncomfortable, and then trying to get my dogs to stop barking. Ah, they're just playing. So if you can get used to the CGI on the faces, like it's throughout the entire movie, sometimes it looks really good, but at other times it just looks weird. And so you really have to kind of forget that, because all the other special effects are really good. And knowing that it wasn't going to be like this most amazing movie, I actually got into it. So if you have low expectations, usually, you know this, like if you have low expectations, you're probably not going to be disappointed. You might actually enjoy it, right? And so I enjoyed it, and that one is on Netflix. So I'm recommending it if you have low expectations. It's definitely a movie that is fun. Now, another thing that surprised me, because right, like I said, I don't go into these movies knowing too much about them. Like I try to avoid. And it also had Matt Smith in it. So he's doing a really good job on, I almost said Game of Thrones. I can't remember the name of it now. Anyways, the new Game of Thrones show on HBO. What's it called? The Kingdom? Keys of the Kingdom? I can't remember it. So anyways, the new Game of Thrones show, Matt Smith is in it, and he's doing such a great job. And I actually haven't watched the 4th episode, and my friend said that he got his haircut. So I don't know, like, if people were saying, hey, this haircut is just ridiculous, but he's so good, or what. But I mean, obviously they filmed these shows a long time ago, so they couldn't have reacted to fan criticism or comments. I don't know. But anyways, he's got supposedly got a new haircut, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. But Matt Smith, I don't know if he went anywhere. Like, he was probably doing a lot of shows in England or whatnot, but like, he seems to be making a real resurgence recently. Like, if you know anything different, I really think he's a very interesting actor, right? For the way he looks and what he can do. And so I think he's good in Morbius. I think he's really good in the Game of Thrones show. And of course, I really liked him as Doctor Who. And it's also funny because Doctor Who is such a different character, right? So good, and then these other characters that he's playing recently are so evil. So I'm wondering if he's being typecast as a villain now. I hope not, because I actually think that he can do a lot. Like, he's a pretty versatile actor. Okay, I got... this is heavy too. I got my monthly comic order. I still need to go to my local comic shop. I haven't gone in a couple weeks. I need to go. But of everything that I got, I could show off a couple more actually. But of everything I got, I'm most looking forward to reading this. I actually started. It's called Project Superpowers, and it's a pretty thick volume, and it's got a lot of extras in the back. Now, the main reason I was drawn to this is because I'm a huge Alex Ross fan of his artwork. So you can see kind of close up like his style. He really, basically, he uses models and photos, I believe, and then he tries to make realistic, like the art look as realistic as possible. So here's the picture on the back. If you could see that, I'm going to try to. You can see. I hope that's not blurry. Anyways, he's not the only artist in here. There's a variety of art styles, but there's a YouTuber that I follow called The Hardcover Comic, and he reviewed this series. I think there's a series of 4 of these Omnibuy out already, and he said it just created this amazing world, and that you start to really care for the characters, and you know, blah blah blah. But he really recommended it, so I went ahead and got the first 2 volumes, and so I really want to start reading it this summer. So the next one isn't as thick. It's about, if you look at it, it's about half the size. See, there's this one. It's about half the size of the first one. And I don't know if it focuses, it's called Black Terror. I don't know if it's focusing more on just this pirate, but it's interesting. So hopefully I'll get to both of these this weekend, or at least this week. So I don't know if you're in the market to try a new comic, but this is highly recommended, and you can just jump into it because it's a brand new world. And I think it's over, right? After you finish the 4, it might be done. But hopefully, you know, if this is successful, maybe they can make some more in the future. I don't know. So this week I ordered this CD. So this is David Bowie Pinups, and this is a CD of his that are all covers. So he covers other people, and I never really listened to this. I never had this when I was young, and I'm kind of in my YouTube. What I'm doing is I do a lot of reviews of albums, and they happen to have a lot of cover songs on them. And what I do is I take a snippet of the person who's singing it, and then I show, you know, a snippet of the original or someone else, and, you know, kind of talk about it. And so I thought, why not do that with people who have, you know, famous artists who have done cover albums, and compare the originals. So I went ahead and ordered this, but I ordered, like I said, I ordered the version from 1990. This was when Ryko was releasing all of David Bowie's albums, and they had bonus tracks. And I'm big on, if I own a CD that I buy now, I would like there to be something that is better than the vinyl, like something different. So the vinyls are great. I love them, especially for the covers, and that's a great cover. I'd love to have that in vinyl. But the bonus to having this CD is that there are 2 tracks on here that aren't on the vinyl, and I think there are 2 reissues since. There's one, a remastering, and I passed those up to get the bonus tracks. So I'd love to know how you feel about that in the comments. But for me, I have so many CDs, and so if I can get something that's a bonus that I can't get on the vinyl, then I'm more likely to buy the CD over the vinyl. And I mean, if I don't want either one of them, I can always stream. So I'm looking forward to diving into this. And from the reviews, there were some very mixed reviews about this album, and some people hated it, some people really liked it, and other people went to point out that certain of these tracks led to different variations in David Bowie's career. So it's going to be fun looking through this collection. I also ordered a package on Amazon, but it hasn't arrived yet. And one of the CDs, I bought one book, one CD, and I didn't buy much. I bought like 4 things, but one was a book, one was a CD. And so I'm going to talk to you about the CD first. Now, I don't remember the name of the group, but they're this Norwegian, like really heavy band. And one of my YouTubers was saying, hey, you know, I reviewed Grant Hart's album, The Argument, which was based on Paradise Lost. And so it was a literary themed album, right? And so the YouTuber, he's like, well, hey, would you try this one and see what you think? And so this one is this Norwegian, really heavy band. But on this CD, they're not so heavy. It's a 2 CD set, actually. They're not that heavy. They're more electronic. And they are doing an interpretation of William Blake's poetry, The Marriage of Heaven and Hell. And I have to agree, when he wrote it, it's like, oh, that is something I would really like to try. So I can't wait to get those CDs. It's not available on Spotify. I think it was available on YouTube, but I would prefer, for example, when I'm reading, I pop in a CD and I listen that way, or I'll put on Spotify and stream. I don't usually stream YouTube music. I do it at work, but I don't do that at home. I mean, that's just the way I do it. So I'm looking forward to getting that and then doing a review of it. And so let's go back to Grant Hart's The Argument. So as I was doing a review for that album, I wanted to grab my copy of Paradise Lost. So I went inside and I looked everywhere, and I don't think I have a copy of it. I was kind of surprised. I'm like, wait, I have a copy of Paradise Lost somewhere. Maybe it's out here, but nope, couldn't find it. So I went ahead and I bought the Penguin Classics version, which was about $10. And for a Penguin Classics version, that's not too expensive. They're usually about $14 to $16. And I think one more thing that I want to talk about is that is interesting is Pink Floyd they didn't just release, I guess the record company released a 2018 remix, and it's just being released now. People are doing online reviews already. I watched 2 actually, because I'm interested. I really love Animals. It's a great album. I like a lot of Pink Floyd's catalog, right? I listen to that regularly, but Animals is one of those albums that I really love. And so on the way home from work today, I started streaming it, and I was listening particularly for the differences. Now, I didn't get too far. I only got like 2 songs in, and I was hearing some differences. In fact, I heard the vocals were much more in the front near the beginning, and so I was hearing differences. But it's not like a totally different recording. So I'm going to keep listening to that this weekend, and I'm going to see like how big the differences are. But the cover of it is really, really nice. So I would actually like to have this one on vinyl. Now, it's an ugly picture, right? But it's a beautiful photograph, because it's basically an update of where they took the original picture, you know, where the pig is flying over the smokestacks and everything. And here it's a little bit pulled out, and you see all the railways and all the smokestacks and everything. But the color of it and the way that it's shot, it's a beautiful picture, and I would love to have that piece of art in my collection. So I'd like to have the vinyl. So I'm considering it, but you know, on Amazon it's about $25, and I'm always leery of buying albums from Amazon because you don't know how they're going to arrive. The corners are usually bent up, and it's not worth returning. And if I'm buying something from Amazon, I pretty much know that it could be beat up. Well, if it arrives beat up, whose fault is it? It's mine, right? Why do I do that? So I should probably just make a trip to Amoeba and pay the couple extra bucks for it, right? But in my mind, paying $25 for a new album is much different than paying $30. I know it's not that much of a difference, right? But anyways, but I think I would like to buy that, and I think I might. Now, Record Store Day is coming up. Not coming up. It's only what? September? It's coming in November. And already my husband has found a Madonna album that we have to buy. So I'm always excited when my husband wants to go with me to Record Store Day, because sometimes when he looks through the albums, there's nothing he wants, and then he won't go. And I'm just like, no, we have to go to support. And he's like, no, I don't. But I always go. And even if there's nothing on the list, I always buy something just to support my local record shop. But, it's just about 4 or 5 blocks from my house. So I always enjoy it. And what's interesting is Record Store Day to Record Store Day, you never know what the lines are going to be like. So I don't even care. I go like 20 minutes before, and sometimes I'm like second or third in line. And last time I went, I was like 20th. And so you really can't tell. But what can give it away is like if there's someone really popular that a bunch of people are going for, that will make the lines really long. If you support a local record shop by going to your Record Store Day, would you go ahead and make a comment which one you go to? Mine is called Gimme Gimme Records. It's in Highland Park in Los Angeles. So I like to support them. There is another small shop that I've mentioned before. They opened up about 3 blocks from my house, and they're called Mariner Records. But I don't think they do Record Store Day. I'm gonna stop by and ask. So if they do, I'll be torn, because then I wouldn't know which one to go to. But I'd probably go to both. But I think I'd have to stick with Gimme Gimme Records, because they're the first, and they're the one that I've been loyal to the most. So I think that about covers it, and that brings me about into 27 minutes. I could talk about some of the YouTube videos that I did or watched. I did a video. I didn't do too many movie videos. I was just kind of tired this week. So I did do a video for this movie, and I actually didn't like this movie too much, so that was reflected in my review. So I hope to do at least 3 this week, but we'll see. I have a lot of comics that I want to read. I've got a couple books that I need to jump into. I've been working on... Oh, I actually brought this out because I wanted to show you. I've been working on the record review for this one, but it's taken me a while because there's a lot of cover songs on it, and I've been like getting clips and putting them together. And that's another thing that is frustrating for me, because I've heard that if you only include 10-second clips, then you won't get a copyright strike. And I did that and for most of the videos it's okay, but for some of them it's not. Like I included a Beatles clip in one, and it was under 10 seconds, and I got a copyright strike. And then I also, for the Carpenters, I got a carpenter strike. I got a carpenter strike. I got a nobody's going to work. I got a copyright strike on that one, and I'm just wondering is it the more famous they are, the more likely you'll get a copyright strike, even if you keep it under 10 seconds. I don't know. It's very, very strange. So I still haven't figured that out. So anyways, I want to thank you again. So I'm gonna get that Donna Fargo one out hopefully by tomorrow. So I want to thank you again for, if you're watched this far, for sticking through with my Friday night chats, unexpurgated, no cuts. And like I said, each week it's been growing. I hope to see that it grows again. I love answering your comments, so please put comments about anything you saw in the video. I love to answer. So everybody have a great weekend and good week, And if you go ahead and watch any of the movies or watch any of the shows that I mentioned, please go ahead and let me know about that in the comments. All right, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And thank you for your support.